Hypersensitive men, what does your girlfriend do that upsets you, unknown to her? I read the same question with hypersensitive women on AskWomen and found it to be super interesting and really wanted a male perspective on it. I agree that it is unfortunately less common for males to share their feelings. I thought that if I phrase it with sensitive instead of hypersensitive, maybe more males would feel open to talk about it, and don't feel off for being unusual even though they are not. Also on the female thread, a thing I noticed was that a lot of the behaviors getting pointed out aren't hypersensitive, they are just made felt like they are being hypersensitive to push responsibility away from their partners. That's why I decided to say sensitive instead of hypersensitive, not to make people feel like they are wrong for having feelings, etc. I do agree though now that it can sound a bit mocking and it was not intended to be this way. Simply wanted shared feelings of getting upset, without silly answers such as "she won't suck my dick 24/7."
Wife will occasionally blurt out something embarrassing or hurtful and never think about it again. She's done this less and less, especially since we've gotten married. We communicate and work on our shit because we both recognize we owe it to ourselves and each other to be constantly improving as partners. If your partner, friend, whoever does this, tell them. If they think absolutely nothing of it, you're in a toxic spot. If they recognize it and work on it, great. Settle down, keyboard couples therapists. I always told my ex to never say things that she couldn't take back. Never take the context out of the argument and start tearing me apart because you're angry. It's the same as how some women feel about hitting men. They think we can handle it because we're bigger and more emotionally/physically thick-skinned. Well, being told that she hates your family and that another man from her office makes her happier, is not something you can just apologize for. You just made me want to check out the relationship for good because it's now unsalvageable. I used to tell my ex something like that. If you're gonna keep doing it, don't apologize because you obviously don't mean it. Most women I have dated don't get this. You understand I'm here by choice? I'm free to leave at any point based directly on what you say and how you treat me. Sadly, a lot of women think they're owed a relationship, and that relationship is a magic bullet to cure all their woes. The amount of times my recently ex-girlfriend threw around, "You should be single with how you act, you shouldn't be dating anyone, I don't think you should be in a relationship," etc. Like, if that's how you feel, fucking break up with me, because I don't agree and you're using this as hurtful ammo, just comes off like you don't give a f about the relationship. My girlfriend shares a lot of our sex life with her best friend, as in all of it. I'm a freak, and there's things that I haven't done with anyone else except her. I had to sit her down and tell her that I'm fucking her, not her friend, and she can share the stuff she does, but stop talking to her friend about my fetishes. She wondered why I never go out to hang when they go out. Gee, maybe because she knows I like getting fucked in the ass, slapped around, and called filthy names. Complains about her whole day, and doesn't ask how mine went. Back in college, I was dating this girl, and I was having a rough go of things between school, life, friends, the works. I was venting to her over the phone as I walked to a meeting with a professor, and she stopped me and told me something along the lines of, "I understand that you're frustrated, but you've been complaining a lot lately and it's exhausting me and bringing me down. I'm doing my best to support you, but I need you to realize that I have stuff I'm going through too and that you're out of balance with how much you're complaining." That stairwell is still burned into my memory. I gained a lot of perspective that day. Had a friend complain about something similar. The thing is though, she'd call or text at odd hours of the night to do the same and I'd answer every time to console her or listen. We're no longer friends because she did this twice and ghosted me twice after her complaints. Both times was when I was in a bad place. I get that sometimes it's exhausting to listen to other people, but it goes along with relationships. Sometimes someone will be in a bad place and needs more care. Sometimes it's you and you want someone to care for you. It's a give and take. It's one thing to have one person in a relationship who's constantly seeking advice, but without reciprocation it's draining and upsetting. You suddenly realize that you're not friends/lovers, but a convenient security blanket to them, and blankets don't have feelings. I stopped talking to a friend for this. He'd complain constantly about everything while having a comfortable life. I had just lost my dad and he kept complaining about how his dad was mean to him and liked his brother more. I did exactly this to my ex-girlfriend after months and months of her complaining endlessly about every tiny little thing. We broke up the following weekend, and after she said I treated her horribly, for literally asking her as nicely as possible to reserve her venting to when we're together instead of over text all day. I soon realized she was just emotionally abusive and didn't care about how I felt, and just wanted someone to complain to and take all her anger out on. It was a bit of a slap across the face, to be sure. She's a tough girl though, and very strong-willed. Always admired her for that, still do. I apologized to her later and made some life changes that carry through to today. Amen. I was dating a girl last year. I'd listen to her, remember things about her day, do all I could to help her, support her, etc. She would never ask me how my day went, or cared about my work. I brought it up a few times and said that it kind of hurt that I didn't feel like I had a voice in the relationship or that my experience mattered. Got strung along for another month or two while she took time to figure things out. She finally broke up with me 2 weeks ago. I didn't think it would hurt that much because I had felt so numb for so long. Man, was I wrong. The memory of all of that love, affection, service, concern, and work came rushing back in a painful way. I don't know why it's such a strong stereotype for men to be the ones in the relationship who are indifferent to their partner's life and experience. I've personally seen the opposite so much more. Gotta stop dating distant and uncaring women. My dad's ex used to do that too. It took him 12 years to realize that he was just a vessel for her to achieve the perfect picture. Family, kids, my dad had me and my sister already, a nice house, a big income. He invested his money in his own company, but she pulled the plug. Turns out he signed some shitty things that made her able to make such decisions. She got cold feet with the company and stopped it. Money stopped flowing. Kids got too old to hang out at home all the time and she got insecure. My dad had to sleep on the couch. She got really mentally demanding of everyone. It was downhill from there until they broke up. My dad told me that a female friend let him sleep in bed with her when they came back from a concert and he cried a little. He had been sleeping on the couch for 8 years trying to make a parasite happy. Thank you. It's a harsh reminder that love can sometimes obscure things that are so obvious to others. Take care of yourself, guys. Good thing she's an ex.